It's been a long journey. Appalachia has changed.
All right, so we have Appalachia has changed, right? So what I think this could also mean is that anything from the first announcement of 76 to today is going to continue to shape the game. So when there was first talks of the community, kind of like the actions and everybody shaping the wasteland, even if Bethesda knows what the end game is going to look like, let's just say maybe this is what Tier 1 of this city is going to look like coming out in April. Let's say that maybe Tier 2, there's a larger thing being built. I think just when you're looking at different things within this photo alone, so just common things, you see your water purifiers, you see just basic common stuff. I like this bar much more than I like the ones that we've been sold so far. That hits, the item shop. I can see people buying that. You have rock in the left corner with different colors, so now you're not just going to be limited to the standard, like bluish one. And from the beginning of this video, you saw where there's nothing, at this site, and now you have all this starting to come into the scene. You also see an expansion of this area. So again, we have nothing crazy being shown here, right? So we do have instruments, whatever. It's just a basic camp. It's just very, rudimentary stuff. It's everybody's coming in, doing their share. We have some mechanic dudes here, hard hats on people. One of the things that they're also pushing is if you join the side of the settlers, you're going to have more of a mechanic outfit. I'll get to that in a few. But this is kind of interesting to see that people are moving back in. Maybe later on in the year, we're going to see more of this. Or maybe our actions are going to help these settlements grow too over time. I'm not really sure. I think it's interesting that we're over a year into the game, and now we're seeing something like this. So does that mean another year into the game, we're going to see another major addition to the game? So we're also going to have, what, an underground Watoga? I think that was one of the things that was teased. If they're going to keep adding to, what, the surface and below the ground, I think that could add a lot of content. All right, also, it's saying that there's something in the mountains. So they're showing Cultists right after this. They're saying there's something in the mountains. Later on in the video, we're also looking at some creatures that they're showing. But so what exactly is in the mountains? Is it the new Scorch Beast Queen? Is it going to be something bigger and badder than Scorch Beast Queen that we're going to hunt? Could it be? I mean, how tied into lore are they going to, keep it? Are they going to keep it to the West Virginian lore? Or are they going to keep it more towards the 76 and Fallout side of things?
You're from one of the local vaults, right? All of my people are at risk.
So, I like in this scene, we're seeing a little bit of breaking the boundaries. We're looking at new energy, almost alien tech, heavy weapon. So if anybody's a heavy weapon user, now they're having this to look forward to. I'm not sure if this is specific to one of the factions or if it's in fact some sort of alien tech. When I look at this creature, so I'm excited that we have new creatures in the game. I'm also excited that they're not sticking too closely to, let's say, Fallout lore, because when I look at this, I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know if this is an alien. It's some light bulb squid creature thing that's floating. There's two different colors. I guess one's glowing. Who knows if the normal one is the blue one. You got Mort in the background. They've already spoken a little bit about Mort. I'm excited because I'm going to be checking out both factions. But I feel like with Mort, they're going to try to add, like his own personality and what's, somebody like Mort amongst these people going to mean are more people going to come in, or are there going to be more factions coming in down the road later on as well? New weapon. Are we looking at a new weapon, or is this just a bladed, power fist? Excited. Anything that's going to be some sort of fist weapon.
We ain't gonna let anyone stand in our way.
Also going back to the last, let's say, major official trailer that they had, and they had previewed a little bit of the creatures running across the bridge in um, Project Appalachia. I think their trailer, they showed something running across the bridge too. I can't recall. I think it was what, for the Fashna Parade? Was that the trailer that they showed? So I think it's interesting that they're starting to end different trailers with these larger creatures or maybe event leaning kind of creatures. All right, I'm super stoked. I cannot wait for a bow. I'm going to be using a bow like indefinitely. I do not really care for the crossbow and nuclear winter. It's fine because you can do the 3 shots at once, and if you're lucky enough, you can get somebody. Well, in terms of adventure mode, you're going to be seeing me use the bow. I've been playing Skyrim recently and having my character only use the bow as opposed to using like a sword or something. I'm definitely going to hope that it's going to feel the same. I hope that it's going to feel like me picking up a bow in Skyrim. I really hope that, it's going to be a native feel to it, and if it is, then I'll be fine. If it starts to feel buggy, I'll notice because I've been playing Skyrim recently, and it's basically, the same engine to an extent, and it kind of feels similar. I mean, the characters have the same, like, heft. They feel clunky, but not. In terms of the bow, I hope it doesn't feel clunky. I hope it's smooth. I hope when you aim it down, or maybe there's going to be perks. I didn't even think about that. Maybe they're going to have specific perks to the bow. I think recently somebody was just telling me that you can use one of the rifleman perks, I think, to get your crossbow to do more damage. I never even thought about that. I can't confirm that right now. I want to actually see to confirm that, but are they going to add more perk cards when this comes out as well? One can only hope. And with the addition of a new creature, that means more lore. And I personally am not familiar with the lore of the different creatures of this area, so it could be following along with it. I'm sure it is. I'm excited for them to not feel so confined to the Fallout lore world. Sure, you're going to have players who are going to be like, oh, that's not Fallout lore. Whatever. You have to break the boundary a little bit, and if they're going to try to make this game evolve over time, not only should the landscape, not only should, the mindset of players going into the game, but like a lot of things are going to change over time. And that could mean the lore changes as well. I mean, they can start maybe experimenting with not only above ground and underground, but remote locations. I don't know, let's see.
I need you.
And we have the release date, April 7th. I personally do not care. Some people are like, wait, I thought it was going to be released last year. Oh, wait, I thought it was going to be released in the first quarter. I personally don't care. They could tell me it's April 14th, push it back a week. April 21st, push it back. I personally don't care. If it's going to come out and hopefully be as smooth as possible, somebody who's been playing this game since the beginning, will not care if they push it back any further. If they push it back months more than that, that's a different story. That's pushing it. But I think right now it's reasonable. It's not like we're looking at a July or a June deadline, so it could be much worse. All right, so from some shared thoughts and comments from the community. So for example, finally release date, but is in April in quarter 2. So that's exactly what I was saying before. I don't necessarily mind it being pushed back. They're going to get, and I've already seen some of the responses, they're getting flack for that, but whatever. It's like, I would rather have it be less buggy because it's not going to go out, go off without a hitch. I do hope people that are in the test server are providing as much feedback as they need, especially as they translate that for consoles. Hopefully they're taking all this additional time to not only, jam it packed with some content that hopefully we take a little bit of time to complete, but, make sure that it's as smooth as possible. The new lights, yeah, so again, going back to the neon lights in the video, I'm happy to see that. Cultists coming back. So I think that's going to be interesting because it's saying there's something in the mountains, right? In the middle of the video, they're saying there's something in the mountains. But then, what exactly is that? Is that the creature that we've seen? That could be a side quest. I feel like one of the last times we got a trailer and we were looking at, let's say, the sheep squatch, right? So around the time of the other trailer for Project Appalachia, think of that giving us a taste of the creature, but it's a totally different side quest where it's lore that they're adding into the game. I'm down for the cultists joining Appalachia. I kind of want to know, how do I join the Appalachian cultist and see what their hunger for the lore is of the land. Flatwoods monsters, cousin? Is that what the alien floating thing is? One is poison, one is electrical. Okay, I didn't even think about that. So I just thought of it as like, everything green in the game just has glowing slapped on it, which made me think the blue one was the natural one, but I didn't even think about that. One is poison, one is electrical. So now that mean we have more creatures that have some elemental effects? We saw the Duchess and Mort. Yep. The Power Fist from New Vegas, really? That I don't recall. Stoked for the bow as well. Oh man, I cannot wait for the bow. Like I said, from playing Skyrim recently and using the bow only, and then if they're up close in my face, then I'm using, magic. But besides that, I'm not using a sword. I'm going in with like these long shots. I'm, hunting different creatures too. So that kind of makes me want to maybe fast travel less, so I can just shoot a bow at a random radstag. Who knows? New perks will be awesome. Yeah, so I think, like I said, if we have the bow, right? So we also have had recently, those perks that were added in Nuclear Winter. I can't think of all of them, but like, okay, I know something like the Briefcase Hound or whatever the one perk is that you can find the different, briefcases. I don't think something like that translates well into adventure. It's things like, all your weapons weigh less. What is it, Walking Arsenal, if I remember correctly? I'm thinking just like, what does that mean for new perks in general? Are they going to splice up some perks? They can add a new tier of weapons with the bow? Are they going to, we saw that kind of alien minigun launcher looking thing. Yeah, so in the first scene, I think we're looking at a combat shot and a pipe rifle. I think at least the right person was holding a pipe weapon of some sort. So it's interesting to also see that, like, what are these supposed to be the leaders of these factions? And they have, like, very shitty weapons. Love all the nighttime shots in the trailer. Yeah, no, they did a good job of getting, like, all that kind of eerie, spooky, and kind of setting you up for, wanting to be, you want to know more. It's better to kind of show you less and have you crawling through the mire, looking at these crazy creatures as well, so you can want to dive more in, more into it and find out, I guess, the backstory, because I guess this has to do with West Virginian lore. Well, that's basically going to cover it for 76 today. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to switch games to break down something a little further. Okay, so also to give a little backstory to this game is basically Left 4 Dead, but instead of zombies, it's aliens. That's all you need to know. Now, one of the creatures in the trailer looked very alien-like. Can I just shoot this? Oh, there it is. That's it. This is actually the creature I was talking about, guys. So this is the creature that I feel like 76 is like loosely getting some sort of idea from. Look at this. I'm curious to know if it's going to act in the same way. When you kill it, is it going to explode? In this game, it's called an Enrager. It makes creatures go after you as if it was a boomer in Left 4 Dead throwing up on you. I'm really curious to know if that's how it's going to basically work. So that's what I was getting at with this game. I'm curious to know if it's going to react the same way in 76? Are we going to be looking at a creature like this? We saw two different colors, a green one, maybe poison, maybe acid. We saw a blue one, maybe electrical. And the question is, light bulb squid creature thing. When you shoot it, is it going to pop? Is it going to make Scorched run after you? Is it going to make any sort of creature run after you? So that's basically what I was getting at.